Welcome to Small Business Big Visibility. This is part of a mini series on the business fundamentals. We're talking about the basic building blocks that people work from in order to build companies. Last time we talked a lot about what is a company, what is it that makes a company a company. Then we started moving into a brand. And in case you haven't watched that, a brand, for summary, is basically the soul of the business. I'd recommend you go watch that full episode actually, but just to summarize, many small business owners get confused and think they are the company. And that's not true. I've never met a business owner that has the company go out and play basketball. The business owner may play basketball, but the company is not. So the company has a brand, and the brand is the equivalent of the personality and the soul of that business. Many business owners will say, I am the soul of the business. No, you're not. Again, there's a difference. Go watch the full video. So if the brand is the soul or the personality of the company, you as the business owner are tasked with figuring out what that is and identifying the characteristics that make up the brand of the company. Today, we're actually talking about marketing though, because so many people don't truly understand what marketing is. So let's dive in and explore what marketing actually means. Now, marketing means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I've heard people say, oh, I'm a marketing agency. Well, what does that mean? Oh, well, we go out and we run ads on all the social platforms. And I'm scratching my head and I'm thinking, you're not a marketing agency, you're an ad agency, and a very limited ad agency at that. You're only a digital ad agency. Why would you call yourself marketing? And it's because people have watered down and become confused on what marketing truly means in a company. Marketing in a company does usually have responsibility over running ads, and it also has a number of other responsibilities. The best explanation I've been able to find for what marketing is marketing, their job is to make sure the entire company stays true to the brand. So what does that mean? Well, if you have a specific way that you do business, then marketing's job is to make sure you stay true to doing business that way. Now, this is almost not even necessary for that portion of marketing. That portion of marketing, that definition of marketing, almost is just self-evident when it's a solo business. But it's still critical to start laying that foundation when it is a solo business, because pretty soon you move from being just you, the business owner, to you're now hiring your first employee, and you tell that employee, hey, at our company, we're going to provide roofing solutions, and we're great roofers, so we go and put roofs on. And all of a sudden that employee thinks that putting great roofs on takes 6 months, when you're saying we get every job done in 2 weeks. Well, now there's a disconnect because the employee thinks the company operates one way and you think it operates another. There are businesses that exist to roast and make fun of people. And there's whole restaurants that I'm aware of. People go into that restaurant and they're expected that the staff at the restaurant is going to be rude to them. That's the expectation. What if that restaurant hired a new person and that new person was really polite and kind to everyone that came in? That would stick out like a sore thumb. That would mean that marketing is not doing their job to ensure that the new hire is acting according to the brand. But it gets bigger than this. So the marketing department ensures that the company is true to their brand, not just on the fulfillment, which is the examples I've been giving, but also on the offers and the messaging you're sending out to the world. So oftentimes in the world of promoting your business, there's several things. Now, people call it marketing because they don't realize, yes, marketing is over ads, but marketing is also over, people call it branding, where they're going out, and there's a ton of different like fuzzy terms out there that I'm trying to bring all back into your mind. Branding usually means we're going out and we're trying to get people to be aware of our brand. Now, there's also building the brand, and some people call that a branding exercise. So now we've increased the complexity and confusion around this because people have allowed these terms to get so muddied. But there's ads, there's branding. You're going to have an offer that you're often promoting. What is that offer? Does it stay true to the brand? So if your brand is a premium brand and we never lower our prices, but you hire the new employee and the new employee says, we're going to put on the biggest sale ever and it's going to be 40% off across the board. Well, that offer is not true to the brand. Marketing's job is to make sure your offer is true to the brand. Make sure that the ads are true to the brand. And then make sure that whatever you promised over here on the promotion side is fulfilled properly on fulfillment. So marketing in its truest sense has its tentacles in every part of the business. Marketing ensures that the accounting department treats customers according to your brand. The marketing people ensure that the operations people are fulfilling according to the brand. The marketing people ensure that your promotion people are promoting the business to the world in a way that is true to the brand. That is what marketing really does. It is not merely just the job of running a few ads. I've even heard of some companies that are saying there's no need for marketing anymore. Marketing is dead. All we have to do is we have to create our offer, put it out in the marketplace, people find us and they do business with us. There's no need for marketing. Well, that might be true if your definition of marketing is running ads. But if your definition of marketing is making sure that your brand is consistent across every interaction, all of a sudden marketing is an essential function. Now, this is a little bit of an abstract concept for humans, I think, because each of us have our own personality hardwired in. We don't have to go and figure out, oh, am I being true to myself right now? That's not usually a conversation we have. As we develop as individuals, we usually have these core elements that make up who we are. Oftentimes, we are taught things on a personal level that maybe we value family. Maybe we value fun. Maybe we value jokes. Have you ever seen a comedian? I think comedians have a high value for jokes. That's all a part of their brand as an individual. Nobody has to go through and be like, hey, you're not being true to liking jokes. It just doesn't happen. There isn't a part of us that consciously says, I'm not being true to being fun, or I'm not being true to my family. But we also, over time, kind of shift some of these values, and maybe sometimes family is at 100% and fun is at 1%. And then next week, family is reduced to 70% of our focus and fun is maybe up to 30% of our focus. So there's these ebbs and flows. Now, a lot of times when we ebb and flow, our friendships kind of shift and adapt and change over time. That's natural and normal. But when a company shifts too far from their brand, they start alienating their customer base. Do you see the correlation here? I hope so. I hope you're getting this idea that humans, we naturally are ourselves and act like ourselves. But when companies, they don't have that natural mechanism to be true to themselves. So it's critical that marketing steps in. So we talked in the previous video about what makes up a brand. Some of those things like your core values. See the correlation again here? And as well as the personality traits of a brand. Is the brand trying to be snarky? Are they trying to be kind? Like, what is it in its communication that they emphasize? Talking earlier about that restaurant, snarky is one of the personality traits of that brand for those restaurants. And so if they're not being true to that, customers would be angry. They'd alienate their customers. If we're not true to ourselves, people don't know what to expect of us. We're no longer true to our brand. It confuses our friends. People stop hanging out with us. We start to shift and find new friends. Businesses go through those evolutions as well. when they rebrand the business. Sometimes it goes really well. We've seen a few rebrands here in the last few years that have basically taken the company out. But again, going back to it all, marketing's job is to make sure that in all interactions, both within the company as well as company to customer or any company to vendor, whoever, making sure that the company is true and consistent in representing its brand. So yes, they're in charge typically of running ads, creating offers, building the brand oftentimes, or making adjustments to the brand, getting the branding out there to the marketplace so people are aware of it. I prefer, instead of calling it branding, to call it promotions or promoting. All of that falls under the marketing department typically, but the root of what marketing is that natural piece that ensures it's consistent.